Unfortunately, upon landing in Singapore, I was found to be unconscious. No? I was found to be unconscious to the extent that the entire flight crew and the pilots had off-boarded the plane. I was still unconscious. So the ground staff decided to rush me to Changi General Hospital in Singapore. And that's where I was diagnosed with what is known as subdural hematoma, meaning to say there was bleeding in my brain. And that's how this was discovered.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now you land in Changi, you end up in the hospital, and they say, okay, you've got a bleeding in your brain, and so I mean, wow, hey, lucky you. Nasa Singapore ka, some of the best surgeons, etc.
Yes.
So one would say, oh, suerte mo.
Yes.
But were you fortunate in that sense?
Yeah, I was fortunate in that sense because if I had not boarded the flight to Singapore, chances are I would have been stuck in traffic along EDSA. I would have just fallen asleep in my car. The driver would be clueless as to my condition, and I would have just expired into the next life.
Mm-hmm.
But because I boarded the flight to Singapore, I was rushed to the hospital on time, and I was diagnosed on time, and the doctors there hinted at emergency brain surgery.
Yeah.
And that's why my family had to rush to Singapore immediately.
What sort of spot were you in given that situation? It's like, okay, buddy, now let's see what motivation you can talk about in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's why it was very frustrating not being able to speak. And so when my occupational therapists helped me to speak, I was really so grateful, because one whole year that you're not able to speak is very, very difficult. I lost the ability to stand and to walk. Now, so those were the difficult parts, because you're completely helpless.
What lesson did that teach you? That situation where on your own you were helpless, and these guys walk in and they undo what 1 year of paralysis did to you.
Yes. Well, I had a number of lessons. One, 2 Corinthians, if you haven't made your peace with God through Jesus Christ, don't let this day pass. You never know what tomorrow will bring. And remember that tomorrow is promised to no one. The other thing would be, marriages are really made in heaven. I don't know what I would do or how I would have survived if not for my wife, my son, and my daughter. The third would probably be, invest your life in moments that matter for eternity. There is, for instance, the matter of forgiveness, releasing a debt owed to you, or the matter of professing love for a loved one. Tell them now while you have breath, because we know not what tomorrow will bring. I think the key lessons really are to make the most out of life every day. The present is really what we have, because tomorrow is promised to no one. Second is, you've got to nurture an environment of hope. That's what I learned, because it was quite a hopeless situation. You've got to nurture an environment of hope, and to do that, you have to anchor your life on Jesus Christ.